I represent, well, thank you to all the witnesses for being here. You're getting to the end of the line here, so congratulations. I represent the 2nd Congressional District of Alabama, which includes the Port of Mobile, which is now the deepest port in the Gulf, thanks to the recent completion a couple months ago of a significant dredging process that got our port down to a depth of, I believe, about 48 feet now. And so I come here with that perspective. So I approach water resources policy, with a focus on how congressional decisions translate into real impacts for ports, the workers there, communities that depend on reliable maritime infrastructure. And ports like Mobile, and obviously ports that you guys work with and represent, they rely on long-term planning. They make multi-year capital investments based on the expectation that when Congress sets policy and provides direction through the Water Resources Development Acts, that direction will be carried out as intended and that the dollars will flow therefrom to support those directives. Congress was explicit in WRDA 2020 about fully utilizing the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund and expanding eligible uses of those dollars, including for donor and energy transfer ports. Yet this administration's budget and work plans, as has been discussed throughout the hearing, have underfunded dredging and zeroed out those expanded uses. And I represent a port that is, I'd make the case that we're the most recent beneficiary, biggest beneficiary of significant dredging investments. And so it is critical that we hold the administration accountable for this and try to change this going forward with WRDA. Dr. Hasegawa, from a port operator's perspective, can you explain how deviating from clear congressional intent on the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund affects a port's ability to plan, invest, and remain competitive? And in particular, if you could put yourself in the shoes of the Mobile port. I know you work in Long Beach, but a port now that has significantly enhanced its capacity to be able to import and export goods into this country. They are doing that obviously for the first time, and so there's a lot of planning, strategic planning that goes into that, a lot of expectations that go into that. Can you explain what sort of uncertainty you would feel knowing the need for the dredging? I'm not sure how familiar you are with the geography of Mobile Bay in the Gulf of Mexico, but there's a lot of sediment at the end of in Mobile Bay that travels down literally from throughout this country. So can you explain how this environment would affect you approaching that job?
Certainly, and thank you for your question, Congressman. And as a matter of fact, I've been to Mobile and was very impressed. It was during the summer, so it's hard to forget my visit, but have been very impressed with the development of the growth that I've seen from afar in your port. And you're exactly right. This is how critical your work as a subcommittee is in funding these projects. Anytime you enable ports like Mobile or Long Beach or ports across the nation to deepen, to widen their channels, improve navigational safety, increase capacity, you're basically investing in the national economy. You're fortifying national security. For us at the Port of Long Beach, projects take many years to design, develop, finance, deliver. And it's critically important that we have a predictable and certain funding stream in order to be able to deliver projects on time. And in earlier commentary, it was talked about the necessity to streamline the permitting process because, as we all know, time is money. And as projects get delayed, costs only go up. And so it becomes critically important to deliver these projects as quickly as possible. And that's the reason why we at the Port of Long Beach support full authorization of HMT revenues. This is why we support and are asking for equitable funding for donor and energy ports.
Well, thank you. Ms. Uffner, locks and dams. I represent in my district the Black Warrior Tombigbee River Waterway, which needs significant repairs, replacements, and maintenance in the lock and dam system. Can you talk a little bit about that? I don't know, I apologize if I missed it when I stepped out, but I don't know if we've talked in depth about the need for that type of funding and that type of support as we're going forward.
One of our members, Tombigbee. There is such incredible need for funding across the board in the water realm. And I know we keep on stressing it, whether it be locks and dams, ports, et cetera, but the locks and dams especially are extremely important to the inland waterway to really move goods to market. And when you look at the Midwest, especially along Mississippi or Pennsylvania or all the other areas, and the amount of goods that go to and from really support our national economy, and equal funding for that to make sure that we remain strong and that we can address these aging infrastructure to make sure that the economy and the communities are safe.
Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chair.